Hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar, Staying Protected and Making the Most from VoIP, how SBCs can help and protect, hosted by VoIPon Solutions and Sangoma Technologies. So we're on time at 1 PM GMT, 8 AM EST, and for those of you that have obviously seen the advertisement, if you stay to the end there is the opportunity to be given a £100 Visa card cashback. So let's begin. We have 3 speakers today. My name's Craig Herrett. I'm the Sales Manager at VoIPon Solutions. Joining me is Ian Langmead, Technical Sales at VoIPon, and Kathleen Reid, Director of Marketing at Sangoma Technologies. Behind the scenes we have a few other people helping out who will try and catch all of your questions and organise them for us. We'll be focused on the presentation, but please feel free to submit questions whenever you like during the webinar, and we'll answer them during the Q&A segment at the end. If your question is missed for any reason or we run out of time, I will personally be responding to you via email after we finish here. Today we'll be discussing how SBCs can help and protect your network. We'll start with a quick introduction of VoIPon and Sangoma, followed by an overview of the current marketplace. With these established, we'll look at security, encryption, and SIP interoperability, and then move on to some more common use cases and a closer look at some individual units from the Sangoma SBC range. When everything is covered, and we're aiming for about half an hour here, we'll begin a Q&A session which you're all very welcome to participate in. So let's kick off with a quick section about VoIPon and Sangoma. VoIPon Solutions is a worldwide distributor of VoIP equipment and has been trading in the industry for over 25 years. Visit us at www.voipon.co.uk, where you can see the widest range of market-leading brands, Sangoma of course being one of the most popular we represent. We have extensive knowledge of all the products we sell and in-depth understanding of user requirements. We believe in the market's potential and see the sector continuing to grow in the coming years. Now I'll pass over to Kathleen to tell you all about Sangoma.
Hi everyone. Sangoma is a leading provider of hardware and software products that enable or enhance IP or unified communication systems for both voice and data applications. Sangoma technologies have powered some of the world's most sophisticated VoIP networks and systems, helping to make VoIP a dependable business communications technology. The hardware and software that Sangoma delivers is always of outstanding quality and exceptional value, and we even go the extra mile to provide some of the very best service and support in the industry. The most important thing to remember about Sangoma is after 30 years in the industry, the company has the experience and flexibility to make migrating from legacy to next generation networks easy.
Thanks, Kathleen. The current marketplace for VoIP is very good and is growing. VoIP's future looks bright. However, we do have a few bumps to navigate as VoIP continues to grow exponentially. Currently, not everything works together as it should. Here at VoIPon, we've had customers who've experienced this. For instance, they've purchased some great hardware, but didn't consider whether it would work with what they currently had in their infrastructure. Dated technology struggles to keep up with the new hardware. Again, at VoIPon, we've had some customer experiences as their business has grown. Their existing servers suddenly had to do more work. And as you add further hardware or even upgrade firmware, this may need better processors. Business growth is generally what people want, so to be troubled with original servers not being up to the task is a big problem. Do you really want to upgrade all your servers? Of course you don't. Are you being watched? Yes, most likely you are. From the government to internal colleagues through to your competition. Privacy is becoming more and more important at the moment. And without going to buy expensive encryption software or hardware, your conversations or your data is easily infiltrated. VoIP is growing, and so are the risks. We've almost likely heard of the recent court decision regarding VoiceFlex and the hackers that spent £35,000 on fraudulent calls. VoiceFlex had to pay this bill and the court costs. And it doesn't matter whether you use an on-premise IPPBX, a cloud solution, or a hosted solution. The problem remains the same. More providers are actually putting further terms and conditions in the terms and conditions to protect themselves from potential claims. VoIP is often carried across public networks. Calls can be placed and terminated on many devices, iPhones, smartphones, desktops, etc. The threat level is more like that of any internet device. And then the question really remains, would you access the internet through your business without a firewall? Probably not. Kathleen is now going to take over, and you'll see from the next few slides how SBCs can help.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what a session border controller does and how it can help your business or organization. First and foremost is security. Just as the firewall protects the VoIP network, a session border controller, or SBC, is required to protect both the data and voice network when VoIP is integrated into the system. One of the roles of an SBC is to provide a layer of security to prevent the VoIP system from becoming a point of entry for hackers or toll fraudsters. It must also smoothly route calls through existing security systems on the network. The SBC terminates each call on one side of the network and re-originates the call on the other side. This approach allows the SBC to maintain complete control over every call and to dynamically manage security. This hides network topology and presents a brick wall for would-be hackers intent on entering the network. VoIP does not present a security risk when properly managed by an SBC. As SIP messages work their way through the network, each node adds its own VIA field to every packet. Packets will probably pass through a PBX, for example, and by the time the SIP packet leaves the network, a series of VIA fields shows the route the SIP message has taken. This reveals the structure of the network behind the firewall to the outside world. Such information can help hackers break a network. The SBC removes all of the accumulated VIA fields from each packet and replaces them with a single VIA field from the SBC, making outside SIP messages appear to have originated from the SBC. This hides network structure to the outside world. NAT traversal functions are used to navigate NAT firewalls that protect typical corporate networks. The SBC opens a pinhole or a single port in the firewall for a duration of the call and performs port remapping to transfer signaling and media packets between the corporate network and the Internet. So as bring your own devices become a little more popular, security flaws that can come with BYOD grow. Smartphones may have apps installed which present a security threat. For example, the owner may download a game, but it's really a Trojan horse designed to steal bandwidth from the network. By analyzing typical traffic versus rogue VoIP traffic, the damage from such Trojans can be controlled. A denial of service attack is a common way for hackers to attempt to disrupt service. Denial of service can be detected by measuring the traffic volume from each source and blocking unusual patterns at the kernel level. This approach reduces the load on the SBC so that the network can operate normally during an attack. A malformed packet attack, or fuzzing, is an alternate form of denial of service attack. The assailant attempts to bring down the service by sending malformed packets to the VoIP system in an attempt to break the SIP stack. The SBC detects the malformed packets and blocks them. The IT manager can configure the SBC to block any IP address that generates malformed packets. The SBC can deploy other security features as well. Call control access limits, the number of concurrent calls each customer can have. SIP registration security detects when too many wrong passwords are attempted within a given time. Known hacker user agents can be blocked. So toll fraud on VoIP networks is also a growing problem. Toll fraud has shifted from an activity individuals undertake to make free long-distance calls across the conventional phone network to an activity carried out by more organized groups who steal minutes from unsecured corporate VoIP networks and then resell them to their customers. Even the smallest PBX can be hacked and used to rack up bills of tens of thousands of pounds for unauthorized calls in a single month. So now let's move on to encryption. There are several ways of implementing encryption. VoIP can be encrypted or decrypted by session border controller software or by dedicated transcoding hardware. Encrypted voice channels are required to prevent eavesdropping as voice packets travel through public networks. It also serves the purpose of authenticating endpoints. The standard approach is to use transport layer security, or TLS, and secure real-time transport, or SRTP, to protect signaling and voice channels respectively. Sangoma uses hardware-based transcoding to apply encryption. This frees the server to handle an increased call volume, allowing economical use of the SBC server for high call volumes while still providing voice encryption. So let's move on to interoperability. Not all VoIP solutions are created equal, and an SBC can be an excellent way of connecting those solutions. Although SIP is considered a standard, it is an extremely flexible protocol leading to tremendous variation. One SIP-enabled device does not necessarily operate correctly with another. One of the major benefits of an SBC is that it allows different devices with various codecs and SIP protocols and flavors to interconnect. This enables multi-vendor systems to operate smoothly and leaves the door open for future equipment to work seamlessly with the current infrastructure. SIP headers can be modified by the SBC to ensure compatibility between disparate devices. In some cases, equipment such as a phone may add certain SIP headers that other equipment, such as a soft switch, cannot recognize. The SBC can remove these headers to avoid confusing the incompatible hardware. SIP header modification can be used to add extensibility, enabling custom features such as accounting, integration, and specific PBX applications like call routing and more. So let's move on to performance enhancing. So when using an SBC appliance, its DSP or digital signal processor can help encoding and decoding. An SBC can provide media bypass functionality, which shifts the load from the mediation role, thus requiring fewer servers. Now I'm going to hand you back over to Ian, to discuss some common use cases.
Thanks, Kathleen. Now let's take a look at some common use cases for Sangoma session border controllers, including SIP trunking, remote workers, and hosted IPPX solutions. So, SIP trunking. The SBC provides a defined demarcation point between the Internet Telephony Service Provider and a corporate network. It reduces interoperating issues between the ITSP and their clients, saving core resources from attempting to handle interoperation. It can also handle transcoding as needed. Each business also has an SBC security and to reduce interoperating issues within their network. Remote worker allows access to authorized endpoints on remote worker premises, eliminates interoperation and firewall issues on corporate and remote worker networks, maintaining security. And moving on to hosted PBX, the NetBorder SBC protects the Internet Telephony Service Provider's network. It provides a defined demarcation point and reduces interoperability issues with the core. Transcoding can be provided if required. The business also has an SBC to reduce interoperability issues and enhance network security. Okay, so that's a lot to take in. I'll hand you back to Craig.
Thanks, Ian. When an organisation makes the switch from a conventional phone line to a VoIP and SIP trunk, a session border controller is highly recommended to allow VoIP calls to pass through the firewall, route VoIP traffic properly across the network, and to enhance network security. The SBC also ensures that VoIP does not become a security issue in the network. The SBC will protect the network from potential security threats that bring your own device policies could expose. SBCs can perform load balancing and failover functions between SIP trunks, and this allows organizations to have multiple SIP trunk suppliers and increase the reliability of their phone service. The session border controller is the critical component necessary to safely and effectively utilize SIP and SIP trunks. Now Ian's going to take us through the Sangoma SBC range.
Thanks, Craig. We've generally covered what a session border controller can do, so let's take a look at some specific models of Sangoma SBCs so we can help you understand which is best for you. We'll start with what's available right now, and then allow us to be the first to announce the new SBC release. Firstly, supporting up to 25 to 250 calls, the Enterprise SBC is field upgradable and has a browser-based GUI and REST API for integration with web-based applications such as provisioning. REST API allows you to provision and manage Sangoma's SBC without making use of the front-end web GUI. You can add, edit and remove SIP trunks, media profiles, and some other SBC objects. You can use the programming language of your preference to automate some provisioning of the SBC and integrate the SBC with other applications or business logic and processes in your company. This has DOS and DDoS attack protection, a network interconnect point for SIP trunking, topology hiding for fraud prevention, and hardware-based transcoding. The Enterprise SBC is tried and tested, being named as the finalist for the Best VoIP CPU Award 2014. Software SBC. The Vega Enterprise Software SBC supports up to 500 calls. There is a browser-based GUI for easy configuration, including traffic visualization tools. The software SBC also features session-based licensing, enterprise inter-site networking, SIP trunking border control, and local management for SMBs and small enterprises. Here we have the VM hybrid, which also supports up to 500 simultaneous calls. The DOS and DDoS protection, network interconnect point slip trunking and topology hiding. The unique features to the hybrid include media offload to a hardware resource, virtual SBC maintenance, and media functions on a specialized hardware resource. The hybrid version also offers transcoding facilities, something the software version does not. Now we have the NetBorder carrier, scalability for up to 500 sessions, session-based licensing, inter-site networking, slip trunking control, local security management, and a back-to-back user agent. Finally, the newly released Sangoma Vega Small Business ESBC supports 5 to 60 simultaneous calls. You can migrate to slip trunking or host the PBX securely, and is interoperable with all major IP PBX and UC systems including Asterisk, BoardSoft, Cisco, and more. There is DOS and DDoS protection, a network interconnect point for slip trunking, topology hiding for fraud protection, and optional hardware-based transcoding. A good point to note is that the GUI is the same throughout the entire range. So there's an overview of Sangoma's range. I'll hand you back over to Craig.
Thanks, Ian. So in summary, you need an SBC to secure, encrypt, interop, and ensure your VoIP network works efficiently. So that's all the planned content we have for you today. I hope we've covered everything you wanted to know, but if not, now's the opportunity to ask any questions as we open the forum to you. And also, if any questions come up later, feel free to contact us at VoIPon Solutions, 01245 808 195, and option 1 for sales, and our technical salespeople will take you through and answer any questions you may have. I've already received one question from John. So how much do Sangoma SBCs cost? The prices vary based on what sessions are required or calls required, but they vary from £1,400 to around £10,000. We'll end it there then. So we'd like to say thank you for staying with us to the end of this webinar. As a way of thanks, we'll be running a promotion for you guys to get a free Visa card worth £100. So we've mentioned this earlier on. So when you buy an SBC with us in December, you'll also receive a Visa card that comes to you about a month after with £100 that you can spend on whatever you want to do. You can use this just the same as you would your normal debit or any other Visa card. We've done this promotion with Sangoma before with some other products, and it's actually worked exceptionally well, and the customers that have used them have been very, very happy with them, and obviously came back to us to use this again. So thanks again. I've had a great time with you all today doing this webinar. If we haven't responded to any questions that come in that we can't see at the moment, or if you've got any questions that come in later, as I said, just contact us at VoIPon Solutions. If there is any questions that we seem to have missed for whatever reason, I'll email you shortly with an answer. Yeah, and that's about it. So thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and we'll be in touch when we have another webinar ready for you. Thanks very much.